mountain, I look down and see a world I was once underneath. I stand on this mountain and I look down. My mind knows more than it once knew. Then I knew. Then I knew. Then I knew. Then I knew. Now you're here. You're here. You're there. You're there. Now everywhere with me. If this is lost, then there's no place I'd rather be than found me see. Found me see. I climb down this mountain and I look around just to see that everyone used to be me. I climb down this mountain and I look around, my mind embracing more than the truth, than the truth, than the truth, than the truth, than the truth. Now you're here, you're here, you're there. Now everywhere with me. If this is lost, then there's no place I'd rather be. Found me sing. Found me sing. I once was blind, but now I see the beauty of the world before me. Now you're there. Now everywhere with me. If this is lost, then there's no place I'd rather be. Now you're here, you're there. Now everywhere with me. If this is lost, then there's no place I'd rather be than found me sing. Found me sing. Found me sing. Found me sing.
Hey y'all, True Crime with Sunshine. To fix my logo, but it's still a badass intro, if you will. So you guys know how I am about my Fox 26 Isaiah files. He always brings us the most disgusting stories there are out there. So today we are looking at rotting from the inside out. Investigators say a woman had mold growing on her body. So content advisory, like I said in the past, and like I'll say again, guys, this is a missing murder cold cases channel. You got a light stomach, probably not a place for you, but welcome all. If you haven't already, hit that red subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, share out the video if you enjoy it. But here we go.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored starts right now. And welcome to The Factor Uncensored. We begin with a report that will leave you ticked off. How could someone ever treat their mother like this? 3 adults are facing charges after letting their mother die from neglect, essentially rotting from the inside out. We take you to San Antonio for this story. 57-year-old Patrina Patricia Martinez was disabled and bedridden in her home. Her 3 children, Oscar Dominguez, Pedro Carrera, and Roxana Carrera, were supposed to be taking care of her. Investigators say they essentially ignored their dying mother. Police were tipped off to horrific living conditions at the woman's home last week. Now, once they arrived, they found insects infested all around her bedroom, and the woman actually had mold. Hear me, mold growing on her skin. Patricia Martinez was taken to the hospital for treatment, but it was too late. She died. My guests are unpacking this horrible story tonight. Our guests are here on The Factor Uncensored tonight to talk about this horrible case of neglect out of San Antonio. Dr. Adiemo, how does someone get so neglected that they have mold growing on their skin? Apparently, Patricia Martinez had been so neglected, and she had adult children living with her. So how do you get to a point where you have mold growing on your skin?
So how that happens is there's actually bacteria on your body. There's bacteria in your system, and your body's protecting you from it. So when we talk about these antibodies and this immune system becoming compromised, what happens is that your body can't defend itself from those pathogens. So you have urinary tract infections, sepsis, and so on and so forth. So mold is a fungus. And if you go in nature, you see these mushrooms that are growing on these dead things and decomposing it. So if a fungus is growing on a living individual, that means that fungus basically thinks that that person is dead and is decomposing the person as they live.
That's all you had to say. That's all you had to say.
Yeah.
And
so that's a lot of medical talk.
And again, I'll reiterate, content warning, guys, this is going to get probably pretty gruesome.
Neglectful as adult children, Mish. These are adult children, 20, 30, 30 years old. And they are sitting their asses in that damn house, watching their mother waste away.
Yeah.
This was one of the sickest things I think you have ever approached me to talk about. We've gone through a lot of stuff together. This one took me back. I'm not going to lie. This one made me go and ask myself, who determined that the 18-year-old, the 24-year-old, and the 37-year-old were fit in the first place to be mom's caregivers? Because they got assistance from the state. They were given equipment by the state. They were even given an iPad to help monitor, track, and administer medications and food and rotate bathing and clothing. So when you go back to the beginning, or at least maybe not the beginning, but when you do go back, who said that that trio of people was fit to take care of mom? I am so not trying to be disrespectful, but just looking at their images, I'm not sure they were taking really great care of themselves.
I want to know their mental capacity, and are they able to do it?
Exactly.
And if so, and if it's that, then the state should be held culpable as well. If you knew you had people in that house incapable of taking care of this woman, and you put the job on them anyway.
And I agree. You know, you got 3 people that are getting paid. They had the equipment. What, excuse me, what the hell was the problem? Were they lazy? What's your mother? Come on.
Exactly. And this is a community issue too. This isn't just about the state. It isn't just about the kids. This is a larger community issue. And I think Adeyemo was headed over there. We're talking about back in the day, we used to check up on each other. Everyone knew what everyone else was up to. Today, isolationism is the way to go. Quarantine took care of that. They put that final nail in the coffin. I'm over here doing me. You're over there doing you. Please stay out of my space. We need to get back to checking on each other.
Doctor, you wanted to chime in really quick, and you're exactly right, Mitch.
You're right, absolutely right. And so one of the things that we say is healthcare is that the most important word in healthcare is the word care. You cannot do healthcare without caring about people, and negligence is a lack of care. So the pandemic that we have is this lack of care, and it started with the Industrial Revolution, where the end of the extended family, where people are not checking on each other, down to the nuclear family, and then with COVID, with isolation and quarantine, like you guys mentioned as well. So there's actually 15.7% of elderly that are going through abuse. 4.2% to 12% of them are going to be neglected. And there's so many things that we can do to stop that, whether it be life alert systems, whether it be calling them, checking on home physical therapy, home hospice, food delivery, social networks, and so on and so forth. So the problem that we have is that there's no system. I mean, the state has so many resources that if you see elder abuse, if you guys want resources, I can provide some. But the state has so many resources to stop this elder abuse from happening. But we see that, especially in lifesaver.
And child abuse, too. I'm going to throw that in there. The state has resources. If you need resources, please reach out.
We're always seeing the end of everybody's bad decisions in medicine. So we always try to stop it. And our job is not necessarily to just say, this is one problem, but to actually say that this is an example of what's been going on through the society. So if we look at COVID, we noticed that most of the patients that came into the hospital that died were coming from nursing homes, coming from assisted living facilities, were having immunocompromised. And we weren't talking about the societal issues that caused this pandemic. So when we talk about pandemics, we actually have to talk about a pandemic and the lack of care of one another. And that's one of the things that we want to highlight as part of the medical system.
All right.
Go ahead.
We want to thank you both for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored. This is one of those piss me off stories, Mitch. And we'll definitely follow up and see what happens. And I want to know the capacity, the mental capacity of these adults in the house. Exactly. If they were just lazy as hell or they just couldn't do it. But thank you guys for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored.
That's The Factor Uncensored. And I'll be right back. So this is the report. Texas mother found in filthy home had mold growing on her body before she had died. 3 adult children arrested. And it's going to play an ad. 3 siblings in San Antonio, Texas. Here we go. San Antonio, Texas authorities say 3 siblings neglected their 58-year-old mother and left her in squalor. Patricia Martinez, medical care providers noticed that sudden decline in her health, alerted authorities on August 16th. Bexar County Sheriff Xavier Salvar said Martinez had health issues that required her health home. Sorry, guys. Oh, she had mold growing on her body. So I'm assuming this isn't the actual video. Here we go. So Martinez's children, Oscar Dominguez, Roxanne Carrillo, Pedro Carrillo, were living with her. So these must be the children of the year. Allegedly in charge of feeding her, giving her medicine, bathing her, and taking care of her medical appointments. The 3 adult children are being charged with the injury of a disabled injury of seriously bodily injury. They're being held on $85,000 bond each. And it could be upgraded to murder charges. All 3 defendants will remain in jail and no one... Oh, wow. So it says in a press conference at the time of their arrest, Salazar said Martinez was found in deplorable conditions. Salazar added that Martinez had some health issues, diabetes, and ongoing medical issues. Wow. And it goes on to tell you $85,000. Salazar says that the case left him shaken. I bet it did. I bet it did. So we'll put the monsters' pictures up here. Man, the things people can do to their parents. You know. As always, guys, thanks for watching. If you see something, say something. Become a member of Army. Be a voice. Remember, it takes a village to raise a child. And as always, guys, I appreciate it if you like, subscribe, and share. Make sure you sub up to the Real Crime community. Level-headed, sluggish sleuth, checking convictions, darkness exposed, Arctic Fox for the most updates. in real crime, missing,